I mean, are the figures bought by you? They send them to you? Saludos a todos y a todas, mi nombre es Damián y yo soy el friki del canal. Y antes de arrancar con lo que es la entrevista a Justin's Collection, te quiero decir una cosa. Por favor, y dejando ese fuerte like, suscríbete al canal si sos nuevo. Y por favor, compartí este video. Arriba tenés el link, lo copias o abajo tenés el botón que dice compartir y lo podés poner en Facebook, donde sea, porque por más que te guste el canal de Justin's Collection o no, es uno de los canales más grandes del mundo de coleccionismo, ¿sí? Y es el más grande del mundo cuando estamos hablando de coleccionismo en escala 1:6. Además, el sacrificio que me tomó, meses pasaron para que yo pueda concretar esta entrevista, porque a veces que él podía y un día yo no pude, me intoxiqué con una comida, no pude levantarme a la mañana cuando él podía, después un día él me dijo que sí y él no pudo varias veces, y después de repente yo tuve COVID, y entre todo lo que pasó, pasaron como un par de meses y la verdad es que bueno, se pudo concretar en este momento. Además, ustedes saben, friki, yo trabajo de lunes a viernes. Esta semana voy a trabajar sábado y domingo también. Y el video me ha tomado más o menos unas 10 horas de edición que no hice en un día. Entonces yo estoy trabajando, editando cuando puedo, trabajando, editando cuando puedo. Y la verdad es que este sacrificio lo hago por ustedes, porque quiero que esta comunidad crezca. Quiero poder llegar a esa meta de los 10.000 seguidores, que es una meta personal mía. Y solamente lo vamos a poder hacer juntos. Acá estamos, Rincón Friki, pisando a full lo que es el coleccionismo en español. Nos tenemos que hacer escuchar, nos tenemos que hacer notar. El coleccionismo en español es fuertísimo a nivel mundial y hoy más que nunca. Así que disfruten de lo que es la entrevista con Justin Collection. Saludos a todos y a todas, mi nombre es Damián, yo soy el friki del canal y en el día de hoy vamos a estar hablando de coleccionismo, ¿eh? Vamos a estar hablando de coleccionismo y vamos a estar hablando con el canal más grande, o de los canales más grandes de coleccionismo en escala 1/6. Vamos a estar trayendo a Justin de Australia, que se tomó el tiempo, después de haber intentado varias veces de poder comunicarnos y poder hablar, y lo tengo a Justin Collection, y vamos a estar hablando en inglés. Así que no sé si voy a poner los subtítulos o si voy a poner la voz después, pero bueno. Justin, are you ready? Can I present you?
Yes, of course.
Of course. So here we are with Justin.
Hello.
How are
Thank
you,
you for having
Justin?
me on. Yes, I'm very well, and like you said, subtitles. Hopefully, I picked up a little bit of that. I used to live overseas. I used to live in Europe, so a little bit,
Yeah.
not a lot.
Where?
But
Where in
I
Europe?
used to live in Belgium actually, so it was like
Okay.
a melting pot of French and Dutch and German, a bunch of different languages, obviously
Nice.
circulating around. I grew up there, so I learned to speak French quite fluently. Spanish, French, similar, not the same, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Subtitles hopefully will make up for my English.
Yeah, no problem. I think I'm going to make like or subtitles, or maybe I'm going, when we finish a topic, I'm going to explain it on my voice over top.
Perfect.
And I go, so I don't know, but they are going to understand everything that you're saying, of course.
Excellent.
So first of all, thank you very much for joining my channel, because in the collectors world, we are taking you as a reference for many things, from the way that you are making the videos, from the figures that you show and how you show them. And I think everyone is looking at your channel, even if they speak English or not.
I get a lot of comments from a lot of people from a lot of different places. So I wouldn't be surprised if, a lot of people from around the world enjoy my content, which I don't take lightly. It's an absolute pleasure for me to be able to sit down here, make a video, and then people from a million different countries all over the planet get to sit down and enjoy my videos. That is something that to this day blows my mind. So I don't take it lightly by any means, and it's an honor for me to sit down and be able to make content here in my house with my smartphone camera that get watched by millions of people. It's crazy to me, still to this day.
Do you feel that thing that when someone sends you a message saying like your content is helping me to get better if I'm having a very dark moment or something bad, and I put your channel and that helps me a lot? How do you feel by that? Because it's different between a little channel and a very big channel like yours. So it's like, how do you feel by this? You are moved to...
Yeah. Absolutely. Every time I see a message like that, it's incredibly touching. Even though my channel is big, I'm not sure if you know, I still reply to every single one of my comments every day. So at the end of the night, I will sit down and reply to every one of my comments. So if there is a message like that, I will absolutely see it, and I will probably, well, I will reply to you because I reply to everyone. So yeah, it is something that, as I said before, I don't take any of it lightly. And if I know that I have helped someone through a tough time, or a lot of people were saying that they found my channel due to being locked at home because of COVID. A lot of people discovered collecting for the first time because they've got a ton of spare time on their hands. They're sitting around, they're researching their favorite movie that's coming out, and they stumble across figures. So to know that I potentially was the source of their collecting hobby going forward, it's still something that I can't really put it into words how that feels, but it's not something that I just ignore out of hand. It is something that is important to me. So I make sure that each one of my videos are tailored to folks like you and I who collect this stuff. But also, if you have never seen a Hot Toys figure before and you watch one of my videos, it's hopefully going to help you decide whether or not this is something you want to get into, something you want to buy, but it's not going to alienate you. Like, the biggest challenge for me is when I sit down, like I was getting into statues recently. And when I sit down and watch a statue video from an established creator, and I sit down and they're like, oh yeah, so this is like it was on this statue, and this is like it was on this statue. And I'm like, but I don't know anything about any of those other statues or any of the other stuff you're talking about. I want to sit down and treat every video as an introduction potentially to a new person. And I think that hopefully my videos have been able to help a lot of people.
That's very nice. That's very nice of you. Okay. So we are going to talk about, of course, action figures 1/6 in scale, because I think from all the channels, the one that is the most known when it comes to this particular scale is yourself, right? So I have a couple of questions, and my question will be not just related to 1/6, it's going to be more like related to the whole action figures world, if you want.
Sure.
So do you consider that you were always a collector?
I think probably from when I was a young lad, there was something missing from because I always bought, like, I had toys bought for me when I was a little kid. I wasn't going out and buying figures en masse, but there was something missing. There was an accuracy issue, let's call it. So when I went to see Batman in the cinemas and then I went to the toy aisle, they weren't the same Batman. Like, I want the Batman from the movie. What the hell is this? Batman's got a water cannon and a jetpack. That's not what I saw. So I guess deep down, I've always wanted to be a full-on collector, but it's never been at the level that the figures themselves I'm talking about, of course, they've never quite been at the level that I was needing them to be at for me to jump in. And when Hot Toys became as popular as they are, obviously that I was keeping an eye on, but I was in high school at the time. I couldn't afford to buy Hot Toys. I was, in school. I had a part-time job, but afterwards, when I got into university and I graduated university and I started my full-time job, that's when I could start to afford to buy figures. And then, luckily, a friend of mine was suggesting, hey, you've made YouTube videos before, because I used to do car reviews, which is something that not a lot of people know. Why don't you point the camera at some of these figures? Because you're getting them early from Hong Kong anyway, because that's what I was doing. A lot of people think that I started the videos, then I approached a Hong Kong seller, and then I started getting figures early. I'm a very impatient person. I was already getting things extremely early. Not to make videos of them, just because I wanted to have them. I didn't want to be left behind. I didn't want to be, I had FOMO. I had fear of missing out. So I was getting this stuff early. And then luckily a friend of mine suggested, hey, why don't you do a YouTube? And over the years, it didn't really amount to anything. And then eventually, I think the second year, it started to really catch on. And then that helped me become an even bigger collector, because my videos weren't just costing me money. They still were, but they were also making a little bit back. So I was able to take the money that I made from the videos and then put them back into the hobby and buy more figures. And then it was a cycle that kept on repeating. And still today, that's exactly how I keep going.
Nice. And now I didn't have this question, but now
Mm,
that you are saying that you're a very impatient guy,
I
I
am
have to
extremely.
I have to ask you then, how do you handle pre-orders and the time that you need to wait for them? Because
I I don't pre-order anything. I only well, that's a lie. I pre-order my statues. But in terms of
they are more
1/6 scale
exclusive.
figures,
Yeah.
yes, they're more exactly, they're more exclusive. But nowadays we know that it's let's be honest, when something comes out, you're going to be able to get it from your favorite Hong Kong reseller or eventually Sideshow when it arrives there as well. So when I first started ordering from Hong Kong, I never pre-ordered. I would wait till first batch, which is the most expensive way to do it. I will readily admit, but I wanted them and I didn't
No.
want to lock my money in for 12 months in advance. So I thought, okay, if I want something, I wasn't collecting them all at the time, I will just get it first batch. So the first one I ever got was the Nightmare Batman. That was my first ever first batch release. And on the day, I saw Dean Knight put out a video, and I was like, oh, okay, I need that. I must have it. So I went on Tim Cent, it was that I bought it from, on eBay, and I purchased it. And I still do the same thing today, not because I'm working with Toys Wonderland, which means that I get a discount on everything that I buy. I've said it a couple of times previously. So I'm always going to buy from them. But my mindset back in the day was, oh, well, if someone has a better price, whether it's Eric Lee or Tim Sen or Toys Wonderland or KG Hobby, I will go there. So I'm not locked into a pre-order. I've got all my money and I can go wherever I want. So
Mhm.
long story short, unless it's a Prime 1 statue, I'm not pre-ordering anything.
That is very, very interesting because every time that we are talking about collecting figures and things like that, we are all the time talking about the pre-order. Should we
Hmm.
make pre-orders? Some figures are more, for example, I got the Soso Toys Rorschach that is there. I have to change my setup to put more to put more details and things like that, but now I'm reducing space. But um, when it comes to figures like that with no license, I think, in my opinion, that you should make the pre-order. I mean, just for those, because Rorschach is completely out of stock.
Sold out, yeah.
It's sold out, and people are selling it in eBay, and I saw it for 500 euros.
Whoa.
Well, okay,
Okay. I did
okay.
not know that.
Now there are people that they are going to put any price that they want. They can put it at 10,000 euros if you want. No one is going to buy it,
Mhm.
but it's like the second hand. They are just buying these figures and they are putting them in a very expensive price, at a very expensive
Yes.
price, and that there are some figures that it's not like Hot Toys that is going to
They
massively.
make 100,000. Exactly.
Exactly. So I think, in my opinion, I don't know, what do you think, I will reserve the pre-order only when it comes to figures that have no license due to the
Mhm.
stock that they are going to release. Mm.
Yes, especially So Toys is now doing limited releases. So for Gambit, they only made 450. And as far as I'm aware, they're never going to rerun that. So yes, totally agree. If it's your favorite character from a third-party company, I would suggest putting the money down. I'm going to readily admit that I am very out of touch when it comes to buying and selling and the aftermarket, etc. Because I only buy from one place, so
Uh,
I don't have to really worry about that sort of stuff. I just say, okay, this is what I want. I'll send a list, and then I will receive the figures, and then I get an invoice, and I pay the invoice. So I'm a bit out of touch when it comes to that side of stuff, and I don't sell anything. Everything that I review on the channel, 99% of the time, I will keep because I will need it for a future video to do a comparison, or I like it. I
yeah.
usually don't pick up stuff that I don't like. But yes, if it's third party, especially if it's limited, I would suggest that that would be something that you look at pre-ordering. Otherwise, you're gambling. You may be able to get it after. And some companies like Comic Sanctorum, for instance, they put up their stock usually after the other companies have sold out their waves. So I don't know about Rorschach, but I think you may still be able to get Gambit with them, but they sometimes have lingering stock after everyone else is sold out, but sometimes not. So if you want it, you should probably pre-order it.
That's great. It's very good that you touched that subject. And now I am merging questions like crazy, because you are saying that your collection, and that you are only, and here we go with this question.
Mhm.
It's a hot one. You are only buying from Toys Wonderland, right?
Yes.
There is a, I think, misconception from some people, or that they want to know more. Would you freely explain to the viewers what's exactly the connection that you're having with Toys Wonderland? I mean, are the figures bought by you? They send them to you? On you. You
Yes,
can say
of
whatever you want.
course. And I've always said, 'cause on my live streams, of course, people have asked this. It's the number one question. Actually, it's the number two question. The number one question is, what do you do for a living? And the number two question is,
That, I think that is too
what's your
personal.
deal?
I mean, yeah.
I've even been asked, like, how much do you earn per month? I'm like, all these. I'm like, really? That's what you want to know? But anyway, the Toys Wonderland thing, people ask me a lot. And honestly, you may not even believe me. I don't know how to prove that this is the case. This is for the audience watching. Obviously, I don't
I think
get
there is
any.
no way. There is
There
no
is
way of
no way,
proving.
of course. I don't get any commission. I wish that I did, but I don't. I am actually working on potentially a commission deal in the next year, but I was offered one and I declined because I didn't like the terms. It's as simple as that. They wanted me to agree to a couple of things that I didn't want to do. So I declined and we are renegotiating. So no commission for now. If that ever changes and people want to know, I will tell you. But for now, no commission. Everything that so in my videos, I disclose if I get samples. We were discussing before we started recording that 3-0 often send me samples. So Toys sometimes send me samples. And most of the time, those are organized by me. So I will, for instance, get a sample from So Toys, and I am the one who's talking to them. But if I am getting something through Toys Wonderland and it's a sample, then they will handle everything for me. They will contact the supplier, they will get it sent to them, and then I will review it. I'm trying to think of Figuarts, for instance. I've received, I think, one SH Figuarts sample from them, and they organized it with Bandai. They sorted it out for me. Where most of the other stuff, I will get either myself, so some of my McFarlane Toys figures I'm buying myself in a store. In fact, I have a click and collect tomorrow. I'm going to have to go pick it up. And the rest of it, all of the 1/6 scale stuff, I will buy from Toys Wonderland. That's the agreement that I have. I get a discount. It's a heavy discount. I'm not going to deny that. I've been working with them for years and I bring them a lot of business. But that is the long and the short of it. Where it's getting a little bit expensive for me, though, is Prime 1. So I've purchased, I think, 15 Prime 1 statues over the last month and a half. And none of that I get a discount on. I'm either going direct through Prime 1 or I'm going through local collectors. So people are like, oh my god, he's spending so much on Hot Toys figures. Y'all don't even know the other side. The Prime 1 statues that I'm buying.
Actually.
Yes, the dark side, correct. So if you all don't believe that I'm buying the Hot Toys figures, I don't know what to tell you about the Prime 1 statues, because I don't know what to say, because if I couldn't afford the Hot Toys, then I definitely wouldn't be able to afford the Prime 1 statues. That's for sure.
Wow. Okay. That's insane. That's an insane amount of Prime 1s, to be honest.
I'm doing the Arkham line. I want to finish off the Arkham line. I've only got 2 left. I'm picking up a Batgirl soon from a local collector, and I'm picking up a Catwoman soon, and then I'm done with the Arkham line. I've done the whole thing.
Jesus. What about the space, Justin?
That is a problem. That people think that money is the biggest problem. No. Space is the biggest problem. So this room is dedicated to 1/6. Obviously, I've done my module cases. I'm really happy with it. I have another spare room that is where my statues are going to go. At the moment, it's just full of boxes of stuff that I haven't reviewed, and my filming setup for large items. So something like a 1/6 scale Batmobile from Jazz Inc., for instance. I need a specialized setup for that. So I've got a huge white backdrop and special studio lights and everything. That's all in that other room. I'm going to convert that into my statue room, and that way I'll have them displayed properly, because I got sick of Hot Toys not doing specifically the Arkham line. Like, they'll do a few or one per every 2 years, and you're like, well, what about Robin? What about Scarecrow? What about Two-Face? Where Prime 1 is like, no, we're going to do them in third scale, and we're going to give you a really nice variety of characters. And that's what kind of drew me to Prime 1.
Very nice, very nice. I don't own a Prime 1 yet. I
Yet,
want,
there you go.
yeah, yet. I know I would like to get Guts from Berserk in whatever version
That's a
that I
great
could
line.
get. Yeah, and or if not, I would like to get some Prime 1 from Batman, of course, but from the Miller Batman from the Dark
Oh, I
Knight
have
Returns.
that one too. I've got the Dark Knight Returns Batman and the Superman to go with him. A nice pair.
But you have the deluxe version that you can change also the head of Batman.
The one that I have, I've had to buy the bust separately. So I have, how many head sculpts does this guy have? He comes with
Oh my
2,
god,
and then
that's
the
the one that
bust comes.
that's the one that comes
That
with
one.
a rifle.
Yes, that one right there. You can see him.
Sick.
He's
Yeah,
awesome. One of my
I love it.
favorites. I love that
Yeah.
Batman.
One day, I don't know. That is another thing because you said, I if you don't want to answer this, I mean it's okay. But you have a
Sure.
girlfriend or you are married?
Yes, I have a wife. Yep.
Okay. What's the relationship between collecting and being married? Any
I
advice?
mean, I mean, you have to have a balance with all things.
Sure.
I found that as long as I keep my figures where they are supposed to be, it's not a problem. But right now, as we're recording, my wife just got home from work, and I've got 2 statues, 2 Prime 1 statues on the kitchen bench. So I don't know how that's going to go down. But I would suggest keeping. I'm a very organized person. I like to think, so I try and keep everything as organized and separate as possible. So all of the figures are in the figure room. I don't really want to have a bunch of Batman figures in my kitchen and my living room, and all around the
No.
house. So I guess that would be my advice: is to keep it out of sight, and then it will be out of mind.
But she, with these things that you are saying, is like she's not very into the figures, right? I mean, she likes them, she can
Not
appreciate them,
really.
but
Exactly. Yes. We both really enjoy cinema, so we went and saw Spider-Man: No Way Home like 3 times. Both really loved it.
nice.
But that's where the line is drawn. Like, happy to go to the cinema, really enjoy the movie, love the fandom, but then that's
That's
okay. I
it.
don't need to own a mini Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need to go
Yeah.
that far. But then again, she has her own stuff that she collects. She's got like these little Pokemon. She likes Pokemon. She's got like
Mm.
these little Pokemon model kits, and she had a lot of Funko Pops. So she collects some things. And shoes. She really likes high-end shoes and handbags. So she has a collection of a different kind. We all collect something, whether
Exactly.
it's spoons or handbags or shoes or old newspapers. My grandfather really likes collecting old newspapers. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but we all collect something.
that's the important thing of it. So yeah, it's very cool. From my opinion, in my own experience, when a figure comes, I always show this figure. Is one of the latest 3-seaters that I got
Yes, I know that one.
Dorkidora.
Yes.
I love it. I love this anime and the manga. It's insane. And my
Prime 1 is
wife,
making a statue,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's Kaiman with Nikaido. Yeah, I saw it.
Yes.
It's very great. But when I'm showing, for example, a figure will come home, my
Mhm.
wife is going to say, "What did you order?" Because sometimes I am trying to make in Spanish. I don't know how to call it in English, but malabares in Spanish means when you grab the balls and you do like this. Okay, I am
Yes,
doing that with
juggling.
the
Yes,
payments of
you're
everything.
juggling, yes.
Yes, exactly. So basically, it's like I have to say, yeah, I pre-ordered it like a year ago, and she will see the figure and she will appreciate the figure and she will say, look, it's insane, but she cannot understand the price. She thinks that
Yes.
it's too expensive. I paid
Mhm.
this DX13, which I believe is the best Hot Toys ever, in my
It's
opinion,
awesome.
and I paid secondhand. I paid $650 for it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, we needed to sit and talk, and yeah, a lot of people. I don't know if in the English community, let's call it, but in the
Mhm.
Spanish community, we are thinking that there are some brands that they have no license, and
Mhm.
they are making figures that are too good to be true.
Mhm.
Do you think, or do you know, if unlicensed brands are actually working hand to hand with top brands in the
Mhm.
1/6 world?
I know that some are, and I have no affiliation with these brands, so I'm gonna say it anyway. I know that Damn Toys is Virtual Toys. So Damn Toys make incredible licensed figures, gorgeous diorama display bases, and Virtual Toys, it's the same company. So they also make those gorgeous diorama display bases, incredibly high quality figures. The paint applications are usually fantastic. So VTS and Damn Toys, totally the same. I don't know of any other official companies that are masquerading as unlicensed companies that I can think of the top of my head, but I do know other third-party companies like Toysera, who are Flashpoint, and they are Infamous, and they are Toysworks, and they are a bunch of other third-party companies, but it's all just Toysera. So there are companies that do that, and then So Toys is just one guy. So Toys, he paints the prototypes by hand himself. I speak to him. He sends me photos sometimes of the work that he's doing, and then he will get the stuff produced at a factory level. Sometimes a big run, sometimes a small run. But people think that it's like a team of 50 people. It's not. It's a very small guy working on one project at a time. Like, he sent me a couple of photos of stuff that he has upcoming. They're literally just, figure bodies in like a bucket with like accessories everywhere.
I cannot believe that So Toys is just one guy.
Yeah. And he cares about what he's doing, which I think you can tell, like, especially based off Rorschach. Like, 4 head sculpts and that flame effect. Half of that stuff, if Hot Toys were making a Rorschach, half of that stuff wouldn't have been in it.
I think the same. And I think the last minute change of the code was perfect. I was very scared about the leather-like. That is a big topic also. But
yes, it is a big issue because down here in Australia, we have a very hot climate. It can get 40 plus degrees, very hot, very dry as well. So stuff can crack, stuff can degrade. So that pleather issue is totally an issue for us down here as well. I was pleased to see that they got rid of it on Rorschach, but they didn't for Gambit. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue long term. He looks awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Insane.
But the jacket, I'm reviewing the Sideshow one. I've just decided, even though down here in Australia, the price for the Sideshow one is 3 times more expensive than the So Toys Gambit, I'm still going to pick it up and review it because people have been asking me to review the thing. So I will
it's coming from your pocket.
It's coming from absolutely. And that's not even including shipping. I have to pay shipping separately.
Yeah. I understand. Well, guys, I think the So Toys to be one guy. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he has an Instagram that I don't know. Maybe you can send me the contact to see him because I mean, it's insane. It's my first So Toy. It's not going to be the last one. I didn't get Gambit because I am not a huge X-Men fan.
Fair enough.
But I can admire the figure and the sculpt and how he. Yeah. No, insane. One of the things that we are discussing sometimes in the world of figures, because collecting during our lifespan, it's beautiful, right? And we are getting many figures. I think I own not too many, but I think I own like 20 1/16 scale figures because I started like a year ago just for 1/6. And you were one of the guilty ones that made me, without knowing me, buy some figures.
First of all, I'm sorry, but also hopefully you found my videos helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you off camera, and this is a topic that you might want to touch. I think we all directly or indirectly get to your channel when it comes to see a figure, when we want to have a look at a local vendor that is selling a figure. For example, I bought the DX11 from Hot Toys. Of course, we're talking about the Joker and Heath Ledger Joker. And I felt like someone from the channel, after I made the video, someone said, "Dude, Damian, but that coat looks a bit weird." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I'm looking at the figure. I'm like, it's good. It's there. I'm looking at the pictures. First video that I received was your review from the DX.
It was a retro review too. That was a recent one that I did that was on an older figure.
Exactly. Yeah. And I put myself with my figure rotating like your video, the screen here, and your video. And I was like, fuck. Yes. this is not the code. Of course, I contacted the guy,
Damn.
and the guy said, "Oh, I'm very sorry. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm very sorry." And
Mm,
he sent it back the day after. But the thing is
mm.
that it was kind of fishy because I saw that he has some pictures with his custom one with the original code. He said that he
Okay.
confused. So yeah,
Oh, of
he
course.
confused, of course. But now I
Of
have
course.
the full original. So going back to the question, what do you think, or what do you want to happen with your collection if in a long time Justin is not going to be here anymore?
Something that I joke about, I guess, but not necessarily. It's something that is actually
Tutankhamon style?
it's important to think about, right?
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I don't know at what point I am not going to want to buy any more figures. Say there is a day when I'm like 60 or 70 or 80, I don't know. And I've had enough of these. I've seen these for however many years, 50 plus years. I'm finished. I'm done. I would be happy to sell them all and retire somewhere in Italy, in a quiet town, and that will be my retirement plan. If not, and say for instance my children want them one day, then that shall be the plan. Luckily, I'm a relatively young lad. I'm 27 this year, I believe. I'm terrible. I don't keep track of my own age, and I'm not going to do the maths because I'm
You're
terrible at it.
27?
Yeah, I'm a relatively young lad. People don't know that. But I haven't really thought that much about it yet.
Hmm.
I know life is finite, but I'll I'll consider it as the years go by, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, you're very young. I mean, I'm 30. So,
You're not that
um,
far off. You're not that
yeah,
we're pretty
no,
close.
but maybe because of the beard, the hair, the people will
Yes, of course,
maybe
yes.
think that I'm going to be, I don't know. I don't care. So, yeah, very cool. I thought you were about 30 something. I'm not saying that you look older,
No, no.
but no, maybe because of the way that you communicate
The
and
camera adds
stuff.
10 years apparently, according
Let's go.
according
I look
to
like 40.
you.
Yeah, no problem. So,
Oh
no,
my
I
god.
mean, no, because you have a way of talking. Let me put it this way. When we were off camera, for
Mhm.
people, this is not bullshit. I'm talking about something that we actually discussed. The first thing that I said to him is that when he's speaking, you have that way of speaking that it's not just for the video, but you have a very particular way of talking.
Mhm.
And I like it because my wife recognized your voice, because when I'm there on the bed or watching a review or something, she said, you are watching Justin. So she recognized your voice without even looking at the video or that I am in the channel. You say hello and welcome to, that thing that you have. And that, yeah, I thought it was going just for the video, like a way of talking just for the video, but no, you
No,
have
no.
this.
That's how I speak normally. Although I did start to lose my voice a little last week. I don't know. I was sick with something. I don't think it was COVID. It was a flu of some kind.
I
I
got
felt
COVID 2 weeks
terrible.
ago. You will have felt it,
Damn.
I think. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So I was struggling. It was a little bit raspy. So I was recording like things like 5 times in a row. So my
Wow.
voice was sounding absolutely horrible. But luckily, it's fine now. I'm back to
Yeah, I can
normal.
tell. Yeah. So this is going to come with the last question. So at this moment in the editing world, I'm going to put like a creepy music going on. I am a guy that loves horror when it comes
Mhm.
to old movies from horror or new stuff, not all the new stuff, but I'm a very classic slasher type of horror. But one of the things that I like the most in can creepy out some people when I say this.
Mhm.
I like a lot things that are real. So I like the books that talk about criminals and things like that because I like the story and the background behind it from the detective's vision, let's say. So, if I have to ask you something paranormal, something like this, have you, Justin, ever experienced something creepy in your life that has no explanation?
I'll tell you one thing that I don't know if it's creepy, but it's definitely annoying. I think my General Zod is possessed by something. Because every now and then in the middle of the night, this fucking General Zod falls over and takes at least 5 figures with him. The other night, we was lying in bed and I hear this thump. I'm like, oh, probably that General Zod. I come in the room, it's General Zod. And somehow, every time he falls over, he's not the one who is damaged. Someone else is damaged. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's the only thing that's creepy. Luckily, I'm not a very superstitious person, so I haven't noticed anything overly or overtly creepy in my life. But it's a very interesting question. I'll try and remember something for the next time we chat. But as of now, the only thing that's bothering me is General Zod keeps falling over. And my favorite display base maker, because you all know General Zod's base is huge. I don't want to give him that massive logo base. I want to get a small base for him. But my favorite display base maker is on holidays right now until February, end of February. So I can't actually even get him a display base. So he has to keep falling over constantly until finally my display base maker is open again and I can buy him a display base so he doesn't fall over anymore. Jor-El is right in front of him, so he keeps taking Jor-El down.
He keeps the heat in the face with the glass.
The nose is that's the one thing that I'm worried about is when they scuff the nose, and you know how like the paint comes off the nose. That is my biggest fear is when something falls over. I'm like, please, not the nose.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to get it repainted.
They are very cool figures because they are figures that you can find them very cheap now. And the people are not understanding that they are very good.
They are great. Jor-El is one of the best, I would say, even to this day, one of the best likenesses on a DC figure at least. It's incredible. And like you said, it's relatively inexpensive. So people often ask me, well, I'm a DC fan, where should I start? And I say, okay, well, do you like Zack Snyder's movies? Usually they say yes, if they're a big DC fan. Jor-El and Zod, a great way to get into collecting, because once you get Jor-El or Zod, because he's awesome too, that's it. You're gonna buy more. There is no question. You're in.
Yeah. That's great. So guys, we have Justin here from Justin Collection. If you don't know him somehow, here down you have the description. You will get to the channel, and it was very nice to talk to you, to be honest. I learned a lot. So
absolute pleasure talking to you, sir. And if anyone has any questions, I find it best not to make assumptions in life. If anyone has any questions for me, just ask me. It may take me a day or two to get back to you, but I will get back to you, I promise, and I will answer your questions. Or if you want to do a live stream or whatever, hit me up.
Cool. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Muchas gracias a todos por haber visto el video del día de hoy. Estamos hasta acá con Justin y nos estamos viendo en un próximo video o directo. Have a nice one. Thank you.